It's showtime.
Hello everyone and welcome to the STPL. My name is Kix, joining me is Rapid, and we're here for another day of the STPL.
That's right. I feel like if you had to look at the number of days left, like the season's pretty close to finishing. We've just got like playoffs and stuff. But like there's just like a lot of days of STPL. I'm pretty sure this is like the longest form tournament. Like, you know, we have ASL out in Korea and then KSL comes along. It's like, but what if it were 3 times as long? And then STPL is just like, you know, hold my,
Hold my
beverage
beer.
of
Yeah.
choice. Yeah, and it's wow, yeah, it's a very long tournament, but shout out to all the teams and players that have continued to play through everything. It's been a lot of fun to kind of keep up with and cast over, well, basically forever.
Well, it started in March, so it's been 9 months nearly. Well, it is 9 months. Oh my god. That's insane. Well, there's going to be a format change for Season 2, but it's still going to be a long tournament regardless, because team leagues are, by definition, long, so that's just how they work. So,
Yeah.
Either way, we're going to be going into our single matchup for today. We're going to finish off Week 6 with a bang here. It's going to be bwL versus Red to end off Week 6 pretty much. So, bwL unfortunately not doing best in their debut season or their debut round of the STPL. They have had some really close matches though, are 1 for 4 overall. Red of course doing a lot better. They were our fourth place finishers in round 2, and they with a 6 for 2 win-loss ratio, which is kind of insane. But this round so far, they're currently sat at 3 for 2. If we have a look at the Group B table, we'll see that Soul Gaming, Soul Gaming are pretty much guaranteed to go through at this point, but NetWars and IRK are very close and hot on their heels in 4th position. At the moment, it's Red. If Red can get a win here, they have a chance of bringing it all down to Week 7 with three teams in
With
kind
3
of pole
text
position.
messages the Kicks left.
Yeah, that was my stepbrother
Anyway,
calling me. So
yeah, no, you're correct. It's kind of been a weird, like obviously, you know, groups are changed and whatever, but you know, last season Red was one of the big surprisers, along with IRK, both of whom had great last season. But yeah, Red is had a different roster this season than they had last season, or at least different players have played this season than last season.
yeah.
So it's good to see like teams like IRK still way up there, but yeah, I mean Red is doing pretty well, just not all the way up there, and they still have two players in the top 10.
Yeah, they do. Obviously, let's have a quick look at the maps we will be seeing today. Set 1 is going to be on Katrina. Set 2 on Shin Peaks of Baekdu. Set 3, Neo Ground Zero. Set 4 on Plasma. And if we make it there to the ace match, we could be seeing another game on Coliseum 2.
Oh boy, I hope we get the ace matches. We had a couple of them last week, and they were so sick. So hopefully we get a few more of those.
Yep, and it looks like my stepbrother wants to borrow my Christmas jumper for Friday, but unfortunately I only have one and I actually need it, so...
Oh, I thought that was a troll. I'm like,
yeah, no.
pretending like there's somebody else in the U.
Yeah, no, that's my stepbrother. Pretty cool guy. Plays a lot of fighting games. Is better than me in them, so we won't talk about that. But let's have a quick look at our lineup for today, just in case people haven't seen it. We're gonna have a PvP between kimquex and fischei. Kimquex actually subbed in for Manasman. ZBZ between Bobmu and Ku. A PvT between Castle and Cryok, and a PvZ between Kingdom and Eriador.
Yeah, wow. I always I always forget the difference between Brood War Life and Foreign Brood War, and then also Red has a lot of Foreign Brood War people on it, and I'm just like, it's so hard to keep track of these teams. But yeah, this is Brood War, kind of the offshoot of the teams from last round, and then Red, who also had a few changes this round as well. So I'm trying to keep things close, if you or straight, and if you guys are not keeping up with everything, just kind of go along for the ride. If these players are new to you or these teams are new to you, Okay, just watch a few episodes and you'll get the hang of it.
Yeah, so let's quickly introduce our first couple of players, then we can get into game number one. So as you can see on the screen, it's going to be kimquex. He's going to be playing Protoss here, so his off race, he hasn't had much luck with his Terran against Protoss. He's actually 0 for 2, but let's see if his PvP is going to fare a little bit better. Fischei in reserve even for red, not playing as much this season, or this round even, but still he did win his only game. He is actually 3 for 2 against Protoss, so a little bit more PvP experience from him. So statistically, this looks like it could be a game for Fischei to lose, but kimquex still a relatively strong player, and should be cool to see how he's going to do here in this kind of off-race mirror. Katrina once again seeing yet another PvP. It's been 6 PvPs on Katrina, but it's not been as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I thought it was going to be terrible kicks, just like the rest of the STPL, am I right? No. I've been very surprised with the quality of games. Obviously, there are some games that are just, you know, what's even happening here. There's a hatchery placement last time we cast it, just like kind of, I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, all I'm trying to say is most of the games have actually been very good, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Yep, so without further ado, let's get into game number one. Just while I do that, I'm going to throw a vote up on screen. Hopefully it's in a better position now than it was before. Yeah, it's over on the left, so that's much better. And let's get started with kimquex versus fischei. And all my sound settings have,
Whoa!
everything
What
has gone back.
Kick?
Let me just fix my settings.
What have you done? How could you do this? I tell you guys, every time I try to save esports, Kix is just back at it again, trying to kill it. I will say, while you're fixing all of that, your stepbrother asking you for your Christmas jumper, which I guess we would call sweaters outside the UK, reminded me that Artosis's Christmas party is coming up, and there's a bad sweater contest there, which I have won 100% of the time, and this year, of course, will be no different. So, were I in the UK, I would gladly donate a Christmas jumper, but let me just say they are rank. They are some of the worst that have ever existed.
That's
but
I guess
I'm an expert. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I mean, starting us off here on the right-hand side of your screen is the yellow Protoss fighting for bwL. It's kimquex.
And on the other side of the screen, which is more of like the top side, I guess, this is fischei. Not the old fischei, it's a new fischei, hashtag big fan. It's still cool homage, if you will. I remember watching the I guess fischei Senior playing in WCG way back in the day, like 8-10 years ago. It was a good time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because that kind of era of Brood War eluded me. Back then, obviously, I did just start watching it about 10 years ago. I kind of really only focused on the Korean stuff. The only real foreign stuff I ever watched was the TSLs. So when I came back in 2015, like, to properly cast and everything, I know Sale was like, "Oh, you missed out on so much," and I was like, "Okay, try and catch me up." But I feel like I'm slowly catching up now.
Dude, well, in truth, you have the greatest situation to be in. It's a PvP, so there's not too much to talk about early on. Other than, I guess, the biggest difference is 2-gate for fischei versus kimquex, who is getting a gas and going into a standard build. But he doesn't know that he's being 2-gated because he scouted the wrong way, so he's about to have a whole lot of zealots up close and personal with his probes.
Yeah, and this could be quite dangerous. We're seeing games end very, very quickly. Obviously, 1-gate versus 2-gate doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose. With good Dragoon Micro, you can hold on, but his first zealot is going to have to turn and run very, very soon if he doesn't want to lose to this 2-gate. Every single unit is going to come into this here. And due to the fact he is scouting so late, he's not going to be able to add a 2nd gate himself.
Well, he gets a couple of nice hits off with that Zealot, and he's actually continuing to send the Zealot across the map. And I really like this choice. You know, maybe it makes it more difficult to defend back at home, but you know, he's got home field advantage. He has a Zealot popping out, whereas if you send your Zealot and Probe across the map, even though you're sending it into a 2-gate, that means that your opponent either has to pull some of his forces back or take equal damage. So actually not that bad. He's actually pulling back with both Zealots. You know, if I were going 2-gate, that's a pretty big commitment to aggression. So to pull that back and make it easier for your opponent to hang on, I don't know.
Yeah, and it looks like he only actually managed to get one single probe in the main. kimquex has got a single probe as well, so he is actually even on damage. Obviously his Dragoons will be coming in fairly soon behind this. The probe of kimquex is still alive as well, so that's going to mean he's going to be able to keep scouting for quite a bit, check exactly what his opponent's doing. And with Dragoons coming in back at home, he should be relatively safe now.
Yeah, I mean, he is delaying Dragoon range quite a bit by doing this, but he knows that as long as he just has a few Dragoons out, he should be pretty solid here. He didn't lose any Zealots or anything crazy like that. He actually kept his Scouting Probe alive, which is pretty impressive. And you know, it does take precisely 1 bajillion hits for a Dragoon to kill a Zealot, but you know they'll get the job done eventually.
Yeah, and the thing is, fischei is not going to be reinforcing this. He's actually cutting unit production entirely, as he is going to go into a quicker Nexus. Now the trouble is this unit production cut going to really cost him here?
Oh my god.
kimquex's micro, given the fact he's a Terran main here, is doing really well.
What is that? That's pretty sick. So he saves his Zealot, he's killed off all of his opponent's Zealots, and for the guy with fewer gateways, well, I mean, they're even, but he had them slower. He has way more units, and you know how many PvPs have we cast, Kicks, where one guy walks across the map with more Dragoons than the other one and wins the game?
I can't even count anymore. It's been far too many, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have Zealot on, Zealot action. Dragoons cashing on from behind. Are they going to be able to push their way through?
God. He saves the Zealot with 2 HP. Are you kidding me? Okay, alright. And yeah, there's only going to be Zealots, because keep in mind the gas was so late, it's actually not even being mined
There's
by
even a cannon
fischei.
coming in from fischei now. He knows that he needs to get something to hold on. There's going to be another 2 Dragoons coming in behind this. The Zealots at the front are starting to go down, but the Dragoons still with great micro. There's actually a cannon coming up at the front now as well.
That was like a Warcraft 3 surround with that probe coming in, actually forcing the Dragoon to take quite a few hits, almost going down there. But he's kept the Dragoon count high. He does have a high ground advantage to contend with, but he's got 2 Dragoons at a time being rallied across the map. And with range about to finish, I don't think there's any way a Zealot's going to hit a Dragoon anymore.
Yeah, but the cannons are coming in now. It's going to be triple cannon at the front. We should have...
Yeah, but say that sentence again, Kicks. Tell me more about the cannons coming in a PvP.
The cannons are pretty good, man. I've seen bwL play PvP.
Oh, I don't know why he's trying to bust this. Just make the guy make cannons and then just like walk away.
Yeah.
This is like Lil B's solution to cyberbullying. Just like get up and leave. Like go triple expand. Like your opponent's not going to do anything.
I mean, this is going to be one of those moments where kimquex is going to really feel the lack of PvP knowledge coming in. Obviously, I don't know if he does like Protoss as his off-race. His micro as Protoss is incredibly good, but I mean, back at home, he's still only on 2 gateway production. He's going to be going to Robo. His Nexus is much later than fischei's.
Yeah, it is actually quite a bit behind. I did not necessarily expect precise that, but I think the bigger advantage is that he has 6 Dragoons, Kicks. He's going to walk up here, 3-shot this cannon, and then walk away. And he can keep doing that over and over again, because there's just nothing to defend. Is there a Dragoon in production? I don't think so. Yeah, he hasn't actually mined any gas this game.
Wow. I mean, fischei is trying to hold on with nothing but cannons, playing tower defense right now, but his towers are going down slowly but surely, but so are the Dragoons. The Zealots somehow surviving an unbelievable amount of Dragoon shots here, and the extra cannons in the back are slowly coming in.
Well, I mean, I think almost too slowly. This is just going to be kind of the beginning of the end here. This actually reminds me of when, like, the Protoss is trying to hang on against the Hydra bust, because you're doing this micro with the Zealot where you want to come out in front and then run back to your cannons. But I mean, there's just not enough cannons. He's gonna try to warp in more, but you can't produce enough to hold on here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just he's gonna make it close, but he's just being bled dry this whole time. Although that being said, he does have an extra expansion running, so if he can throw down some extra gateways, maybe
Oh,
there's a way,
nice
Kix.
assassin zealot there, getting one of the very, very hurt dragoons. There is another one at the front even that's very dangerously low. But fischei still continuing to try and make use of the extra minerals he's mining by building more and more cannons. It's not really working out for him so far. He's not able to get the cannons up. The zealots are not tanky enough, which is a word
so
I wouldn't
weird.
think I would ever say.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure I've never seen a PvP like this before. Like PvPs can get really weird, but he's gonna lose another dragoon here if he's not careful. One more hit, 8 HP on that one dragoon. But the cannons and the zealots are holding on, but there's no future here. This is like moving to a country to cast esports without having a job first. Like there's really no future there.
Yeah, it's not good for fischei at the moment. Kimquex back at home, adding on his third gateway now. Robo is finished. There's even a shuttle here with a Robo support bay coming in, Observatory coming in as well. The pylon at the front goes down, and with that, there's no power on these cannons, and the three zealots are not going to be able to do anything. Does he have any tech? No, he doesn't. He's only now getting his cybernetics core.
Okay, well, that's not a sentence you say all that often. I mean, this is quite a few dragoons. He's not really microing them a lot, and these cannons are actually working out pretty well. Surprisingly, fischei actually has about 700 minerals, so he probably needs to throw down a bunch more cannons. He's managed to reach a higher mass of zealots, but he was actually, a little bit slow on throwing down a few extra cannons, because these are really his only lifeline to stay in the game. Because like you said, he's only just now got that cybernetics core, and he still hasn't produced a single dragoon yet.
Yeah, and the trouble is, where he's building these cannons so late, it's allowing the dragoons to get up while they're still building, and you'll see him go in again. He's going to be able to snipe a few of these cannons before they finish. The probes have been pulled to see if he can hold on long enough for the cannons to finish, but he's taking a lot of damage, and when this Reaver comes in from him, he's not going to be able to hold on. Cannons do not fare well against Reavers unless the Reaver kind of bugs out with its pathing, which I have seen happen before. But I mean, kimquex's micro has been so good this game so far that I don't see that happening. fischei still continuing to try and add more cannons. I mean, yes, he's got his cybernetics core now. He's going into a Citadel, possibly going in for Templar Archives, maybe get a DT. But the trouble is, he can't join the race for Dragoons here. He's going to start adding on a couple at a time. But he's already behind so many, and here is the shuttle with the Reaver, and this is surely going to be the death knell here for fischei.
Yeah, unfortunately, Scarabs don't suffer from mischance, so, and he's gonna get, tons of splash damage on these cannons. They're just gonna pop. Behind this, he's also getting shuttle speed, so you're never gonna catch this. You can build cannons as quickly as you want, a shuttle staying alive. And he only has one Dragoon, so what's gonna hurt the shuttle? If he walks the Reaver into cannon range, obviously that's gonna be a little bit difficult, but okay, there it is. He picks up the Reaver, all the Dragoons die, and this should be it.
Yeah, that should be it. fischei has nothing left. All the money going into cannons meant he didn't have any money for any units, any gateways. But obviously the cannons were the one thing keeping him in the game, and here we go, the Reaver is in near the mineral line now. He's going to take down this final cannon, and fischei is surely going to have to tap out. GG! And kimquex takes down fischei in game number 1.
Yeah, wow. I don't know, that cannon defense, I'm not totally sold on it, Kicks. You got to do what you got to do to hang on, right?
Yeah.
And it looked for a second maybe he's going to stabilize, but in the end, it's turned out a little bit worse than my holiday sweater. So this is the sweater that won last year. It just says Stunna on it. And I'm just that's so just graphically offensive. Besides being Pepto-Bismol pink, I was just this is how I win. Whatever the dumb prize was that Artosis gave away for that. I forget. I think it was a USB speaker or something. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, one thing
Cannon's not that great.
One thing I will say about that is it's kind of surprising to think that game started off with fischei with the gateway advantage.
Yeah.
He had 2 gate against 1, and then he suddenly had no units. It was kind of crazy.
He pulled his zealots back to defend, And when you're going 2 gates, like, the idea of you not running across the map to try to deal damage, I don't know what you're trying to do there. So, I don't know. I mean, when you go 2 gate already, you're making a commitment. You're like, "Okay, here we go." Whereas if you just go a standard build, you've got a lot more options later on. But sometimes it doesn't work out. That's gonna do it for game 1.
Yep, we're going to get into game 2 when we get back after